Oh, boss.
Oh, George.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to everybody.
I mean,
I've missed you guys, Charlie.
I mean,
so much.
It's been like a year. We haven't seen the whole year.
I know.
I mean, the whole year.
I know. Yeah. Happy New Year to all our listeners, viewers. You know, I've missed them so much.
Yes.
And may we look forward to a very, very prosperous, healthy.
Amen. We've also been joined by Captain Abraham. Yes, Captain has announced his presence already. He took center stage on the Kwabna conversation, showing us his love side. Yeah. And
I have a beautiful love side.
Captain have love side.
Yeah, shock, sir.
People for shock. If you see my woman,
Did you say women?
Yes.
Women.
It's some of you ran away.
How many do you have?
Sister Pat is there. We have 3 kids. Then I have Dorothy. Dorothy is a beautiful woman. Then Cynthia is another beautiful woman. Then Paulina has 2 kids, a very, very beautiful. Then Mary Abrahams, also another beautiful woman. And these women are great. They are these great women in my life. Don't be confused. Here I am. You can ask any question.
Your aunties,
your sisters.
What are you talking about?
You are talking about your daughters.
Or your wives or your girlfriends, or your wife and your girlfriends.
Well, if it becomes a substantive topic for discussion, you can create that space.
No, but George, did you realize how he started this conversation?
Yes.
He said, "Do you know
Sister
my
Pat.
women?" That's when you asked him.
Yes. Did you say woman or women? I wanted to be sure what I heard.
And he accepted. He said, yes, I mean women. And then you asked him and he started mentioning the women in his life.
For the first time on your show, let me say that I have it on record. That the day I'm out of this world, it should never be that any woman who has been a help to me, who I have loved, should not be able to come up and see me for the last time. This is the captain. I've done what is to be done on the earth. I'm gone.
Kwame Dazi.
George,
You, how many women do you have?
1. I beg. I can't play with this one.
Kwame doesn't have women.
People are listening.
Kwame doesn't have women.
Kwame doesn't have women. He has
a woman.
A woman.
Yes. That's good.
Yes. Yes. You are not like Captain.
Captain. No.
Yeah, Captain is a legend. Kojo, you two, how many women do you have?
1.
1.
Yes.
No, okay. Nah.
Where? What about the other one?
But George,
yes, I go get.
Captain said something. Captain said something that I want you to look into.
Yeah.
Just a little, and see whether he makes sense.
Yeah.
With what he said.
Yeah.
He said that when he's gone,
Yeah.
he's saying it today on this show.
Yeah.
That any woman that has had something to do with his
him
life,
that he has loved,
Yes.
should not be prevented from coming to see
pay
him
her last respect.
and
Yes.
pay the last respect.
Yes, it's very important.
And I think it's a very important statement.
But who will prevent them in
No.
Kojo
He's
Brego,
just saying.
don't go there.
He's just saying.
Please don't start the conversation. Don't go there.
Look, one night I went out to a place at Labadi called Nokochuenshi. I was saved by a beautiful cocoa seller called Mubarikata.
You were saved from what?
I had just come from London. And
You had pounds.
no, I just collapsed I went off in my room.
Wow.
You understand it? And
Wow.
I found solace in the bosom of that girl.
Allah.
And then she happens to be a very beautiful, beautiful lady.
What did you say the name was?
Mubarakata.
Mubarakata.
If you go to Nokocho and Shikoko Seller today, she's there. How can I deny the comfort of that woman who gave herself to me?
Philip knows
Only on the notes that today I am married. I have 3 kids. What prevents me from making the world know what she did at that time? She gave me cocoa. She took me to my room, gave me bedding, gave me herself. I slept with her, kept a relationship with her for 5 years, and it was the most wonderful experience I've ever had. Kudos to all those women out there. This is the captain. Thank you for everything you've done. Yes.
You pass out and you're able to have.
Please, it's okay. Let's move.
That one doesn't stop passing out.
Captain, right? It's okay. Captain, it's okay. Let's move forward. Hey. I think I'm even speechless.
You didn't expect it to
no, into this vivid description of life-saving encounters. At 4 p.m. Let's move on. So let us get into the intellectual property and copyright discussion. You know, I mean, all across the globe, it's a big issue. There have been, people have gone to court over all manner of things, and they all connect to intellectual property. There are times that people, there's this American musician that what's the name? Kwame does it. The gentleman that used to compete with Michael Jackson. Prince. Prince. You know, he changed his name a number of times and all that. And it all had to do with branding and intellectual property and everything. You know, I think at a point, he didn't even really have a name. You know, and then there have been cases, Chuck Berry and versus the Bee Gees and all those things. I think, there was something that had to do with Vanilla Ice too. It had to do with the 1990 release of Ice Ice Baby, where I think somebody took Vanilla Ice to court. I've forgotten the fine details, but I'll look for it. But bottom line, all across the globe, there have been intellectual property cases, even in Ghana. We remember the most recent one being the Kirani Ayat, who took on the government. Sure. You know, Kwame, I don't know if you follow that one. Kojo, I don't know if you guys follow that one. Versus the government of Ghana.
People, they will follow.
Yes. You know, then I think there was TikTok.
And then the TikTok, the Malcolm affair.
TikTok Malcolm. There was TikTok Wizkid as well. Yes.
There was Rex also and the Daddy.
Exactly.
Joy Daddy
kind of thing. Then the D Black Kwekuti versus Vodafone. That was also there. Then a lot of them. You understand? Captain Abraham, let me start with you. Really, let's even try to define it. What is intellectual when somebody says copyright law, intellectual property rights and all that, what are we talking about really?
Okay, first of all, let me doff my hats to all those guys who have specialized in this area. On this show, let me say that I am not a lawyer.
Of
so
course,
take notes.
Yes, definitely.
There are other brilliant guys around.
We actually do have a lawyer online, so we'll speak to the lawyer.
So it's important. So I'm just sharing my part knowledge that the state has endowed me with.
Exactly.
And I have, over the past 38, 40 years of my life in this industry, I can say only one thing that makes it very easy for everybody to understand. Just like you buy a car or a house, and it's a property that you own, there is another type of property that is intangible, you cannot hold. So with a car or a house, it's tangible, it's physical, you can point to. But there are people who have been endowed with natural talents who are able to create things. That also becomes a property that is intangible. And that kind of property is a property created out of the mind, relating to intellect, the intellect talent that God has given you. So we say intellectual property is that kind of property that is a creation of the mind. For example, those who write music. Somebody, with all due respect, may not even be illiterate, but you come up and write various kind of songs. And you call out songs and mix it and do all sort of things with the song. An artist will just sit down and begin to draw out of an abstract system. And then before you realize, it's over there. Have you thought about those who build houses?
Yeah, architects.
Architects. He will just be there. You take schooling out of it, but he's able to create a whole house. And then if you look at the picture of the house, everything comes from the mind.
Yeah.
So intellectual property is simply that property that has the same attribute of a physical property, but it's a creation of the mind. and it relates to literary works. You remember whilst we were in school, I don't know whether these young chaps, Uncle Ken, I don't know whether they came up to it. I mean, when we were in school, there was a book by F.Y. Jampo, my first copy book.
Yeah, the one.
I don't know whether you came to
the one
it.
you used to learn how to write.
Yes, you learn how to write it.
Yeah.
So it means that for a generation of 50 years, Mr. F.Y. Jampo created that thing, and we all learned. Look at the difference between me and you, the age difference. But we all came to learn how to write well. A, then you draw it, then B, then Mr. Happy, and all that kind of thing. That is intellectual property. That was his creativity, and that is his property. So just as you have all the attributes of a physical property, you have title to it, you have ownership. It is only you who can put a key into the ignition of your car and start it, and then use it for your own benefit. Equally, so is with intellectual property. You are the owner of that property. So that's intellectual property.
This very explanation is where my confusion arises from. And Kwame, I don't know if you may be able to help me. And we've all seen what was it the Spaniards who introduced the concept of the Colosseum? I think it was
the
the
Colosseum
Spaniards.
was the
Yes.
Romans.
The Romans, yes,
Romans.
exactly. The Romans, yes. They introduced the concept of the Colosseum. When you look at the shape of the Colosseum, it was oval and all that. When you look at a football field, what does it look like?
Rectangular.
No, football fields these days are not rectangular. Football fields are actually built in the shapes of colosseums, aren't they?
Football fields or
I mean,
stadium.
football, the stadium. That's what I mean.
The shapes. Okay, yeah.
The shape.
Yeah.
So, based on what you are saying, shouldn't there be some property, intellectual property infringement? There didn't anybody own the rights to that colosseum?
Okay,
idea?
before it comes
Yeah.
up, let's just be add. I mean, if
Yes.
you add.
Yes, please go ahead.
Within intellectual property, there are different kinds of works.
Aha.
There is an original work, and there is an adaptable work, and there is a derivative works. You understand the position? So there are works that have originated out of an original. You understand the position?
Okay.
So you can pick a work. So just as you are saying, the Colosseum has been there.
Yeah.
Somebody can look at the Colosseum and create something out of it. You understand the position?
So that is allowed.
Yes, it's allowed.
And that is not an infringement.
No, that's not an
So if
because you are
somebody
adding to it.
So if somebody picked a kente cloth
Yeah.
and did something to it,
Yeah.
would there be an infringement there?
It is not an infringement so long as the original you acknowledge is part of the law. You acknowledge
His moral
that
rights.
it is not, you are not the original owner. And then you seek permission and you are authorized and you add to it. What you add is an adaptation or it's called a derivative. In fact, if you look at the law, section 1 of the law, and for the purposes of education, let us just go there so that we can.
Yes, sure. So that we can educate properly and
educate.
appropriately. Exactly.
And it says that these are the works eligible.
For copyright.
Yes, eligible. And then it specifies them. Sorry, just 1 minute.
Yes, we're just going there. You can
So it
also
says
say,
that an author, a co-author, so there can be more than
more than one.
One.
Yeah.
more than one, or a joint author. So in this case, have a clear understanding between co and a joint. There can be co who are doing the same work, and there can be joint who have done separate works
And brought it together.
And brought it together. Joint work of any of the following works is entitled to copyright. 1, literary works, books, and novels and the like. Artistic work in all its ramification. Musical works. Then sound recording. Take note. Musical works, copyright in music are totally different from sound recordings. Audiovisual. There is the audio.
Yeah.
There is the visual. Then choreographic works. The act of dancing.
Yeah.
So because somebody dances and his waist is going right, and you think that it is easy to just be doing right waist, you are copying somebody dance pattern. Do you know that? Do you know that musicians will create songs and they will have to go to somebody and the person will sit down and choreograph the whole song, how the movement will be. That is and then in Ghana, we just come and we are dancing people dances. In fact, if we are not careful, the creator of a particular dance will one day come and sit down with his cane. And if you dance a dance that belongs to him, you can have a problem. Then, what we are referring to, a derivative work. You understand? So, a derivative.
What's a derivative?
A derivative is a work that is being taken out of an existing work. Okay. That is what we call a derivative.
So, like the stadium thing you're talking
exactly.
about.
Yeah. It's a derivative. And there may be some of these derivatives where it's passed on from generation to generation. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. And then we all know, look at this song. Dana, si, Dan. And people are doing it in various forms. But the moment you do it, everybody knows that it is what? Dana, si. But who owns Dana, si? It's somebody. But over the years, so derivatives are parts of copyright. And that's just my little contribution to it.
Very, very, very interesting lessons there, if I should put it that way. So, if it means that if I say, like you, let me use the choreography, a dance, for instance. Kwamna is about to have a show. The show is being curated nicely. Maybe at a certain point, maybe, let's say he's going to have a performance with, say, Samini on adult music. Because it's danceable, they go and call, what's that dance guy's name? Is it Niate, they call him? Niate. Or Nitete. There's Nitete as well. Yes, not the Noyam people. So you contract the Noyam people to do a special dance for that particular set. Somebody is in the auditorium and records that set with his or her phone during the performance. You understand? At which point has there been an infringement on that particular dance that happened on that stage?
Basically, copyrights are made for the generality of the family and the public. So insofar as anybody creates any work, you can use it within the confines of the family and for private purposes. When you move that work outside the confines of family and private purposes, there is an infringement. So if Kwamna does his music, you open, it's already in public. You open in your car, you listen to it, you in your house over some chilled wine and everything is good. But then you move that work either to exploit it. That is where the key issue is. Because Section 5 of the law is very clear. And that's what a lot of people don't know. It is only the owner of a woman who has the ability to chop the woman.
Captain Abraham, children are listening. Let's use non-sexual examples, I beg you.
Okay.
It's daytime radio.
Okay,
I can invite you for the late night express, then we can discuss all these things. But
okay,
I beg
no
you.
problem.
Yes.
I have
listeners, we
myself.
apologize. Yes.
The author of any protected copyright work has the exclusive economic rights. Let's all be very clear about it. A, the reproduction of the work in any manner. So insofar as you can enjoy the work and you do not reproduce it, there is no infringement.
Okay.
Do you understand it?
Okay.
So the key word is economic, exclusive. My younger guys here have the dictionary to tell you what exclusive means.
Yes, exactly.
It means that he's the
only person who has the right to.
Right. And it says that any reproduction of the work, he's the only person. 2, translation. So you can't be going about translating people's song into Twi or English or ever. No. No, you can't. Adaptation. You see, where adaptation, even if it's a work, and you also want to do something to it, then you are going to adapt the work. But somebody, Uncle Ken is the owner.
No, George Quaye is very aware of adaptation.
Yes, I do a lot of adaptations.
He does a lot of
Okay.
Yes.
Then arrangements.
Yes.
Or any other transformation. So let me be very particular about DJs who sit on radios. Do you know that the act of mixing and doing all sort of things is an infringement on somebody's work? Yes.
You are interfering with
yes.
Call him for me. Really?
You are still infringing. I mean,
in between somebody's song.
Yeah.
Somebody will tell you that, look, I did this song for people to listen it this way. If you want to perform my song and communicate my song, do it only in this way. Why do you do chuku chuku chuku? Is chuku chuku part of my song?
So you can't even play
Or mixing, or I'm playing Kwabena.
No. You see, you are
In between the songs.
You are at a radio station, and the radio station has been given a blanket license to do its work. You can play your ID. Of course, that's the ID of the network. You understand? But where you alterate the song, or you transform the song, or in any way
increase the BPM.
Yes, sometimes every song goes by a certain level. Yeah. People can increase the song. Do you know that somebody outside can say that? Could you do you understand the position? That's why you don't have the power.
Then I have a question, because now
no. Let me finish. Please,
yes,
if you have
please finish. Yes.
So some of the questions you don't need to ask me. Go and ask those who pass the law. See, the public performance. Do you understand the?
Yes.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Sorry, listeners. Let's get back to it's just part of it, just to play the public performance. So when you play a song and then they come to you to go and pay money, they say, "I'm promoting you." Who have asked you to promote the song? Stop promotion. The public performance. You have to use the song in your house and in your private, within the ramification, within the confines of the family. Broadcasting. So broadcasting network don't have the power to go and play people's song. They have not given you the power.
That's why you collect
Exactly.
from
That's why royalties are paid.
Yeah.
And communication of the work to the public. So there are two keys there: public performance and communication of the work.
The work.
Do you understand the position?
Interesting.
You do public performance. You send signals out there. Before you send the signals with the song, you need a permission. Then publicly, you are now going to communicate the song, break down the song specific, and give it to the public.
And as well charge for it.
And charge for it.
Interesting.
The distribution to the public of original. That's why it is not everybody who can just set up a shop and be distributing Lumbe songs. He has not given you because
the mandate.
Exactly, the mandate. And finally, the commercial rental to the public of the original copies, because it's a form of merchandising, where you can commercially make formats available that people who cannot afford to pay for a song, they can commercially rent, make use of it. So at which point the answer is simply that if you intend to do any of these acts,
seek permission.
But you see,
and you don't seek permission, you have infringed
on
the rights of the person. That's all.
I didn't settle on my question, but the answers have been helpful, because there is a problem that is posed by new media, digital media, that has not been captured here. I would go back to my Kwabena Samini performance at the Valentine Vita Milk Love Night.
Okay. Yeah.
Where Kwame Dazi, owner of www.kwamedazi.com, and Kwame Dazi monetized YouTube channel and everything, was a media partner, and he's covered that event and put it, segment of it on his monetized YouTube page. Has he infringed?
If Kwame Dazi is part of the program,
no, he's not. He was just invited as a media partner to come cover, to just give news.
Partner.
Yes.
Then please just be a media partner.
I'm helping you to promote your.
That's the question I asked you. I will ask you to be helping anybody.
Were you contracted?
But you see, no, in all fairness, sometimes event planners, for every event, there's a certain quota of invitations that we give to media, because you also want people to hear about what you did, to see what you did. So you've invited media to come cover it. You understand? Does that mean that I have given the media person that I invited exclusive right to monetize my content without my permit?
The first thing I told you, I'm not a lawyer.
Then that takes us. Is our lawyer online?
Yes.
Good.
So,
we'll call him.
We'll go to the lawyer. But
yes.
I'm saying that, does it mean that by the permission that I've been given to be in this studio, I can immediately begin to record this whole thing and go and put it onto another media to promote my name? are you aware that broadcasting organizations also have copyright in their work?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
we can take a piece. All that I'll say is very simple. We know the works that are copyrightable. We know the rights that is given to the owner. If you intend to do anything, it is only in our territory that a lot of things we don't worry ourselves about, because we know that Kwame Dazi may not do this in any negativity. But the point is that you are part of a program. Your platform, is it a house platform or is it a platform to the public?
Captain.
No, but you invited me
Captain.
to publicize what you
Yes, Captain, on this Kwame Dazi thing that George just brought up, I think there's always a mutual consent amongst the parties, because they know they need the exposure from the bloggers or the media people. So they agree to the fact that let me invite this media person, let him come to the show, let him come take some shots or whatever he wants to do, and put it out there for people to know what went on. And that is the reason why you hardly get people taking them on.
Okay, just 1 minute.
They have done.
Just 1 minute. I'm just adding something. 1 minute.
Okay.
I am not in any way saying something different from what you are saying.
I know.
I'm saying that over the years we have accepted a certain norm.
That's right.
You understand the position.
Yeah.
But people can take you on.
Oh, of course.
Because they may tell you that that is not what I meant. You understand? So if you are a media partner, know your rights, and then let him know that, oh, you've brought me as a media partner. I'm going to put it on my page, so that when I put it on my page, you don't come. So what is the limit of, what the services that I am to provide for you? What are the services? Kwame Dazi goes to these programs. Then other Kwame, I know him. Who said I don't know him? Kwame Dazi says that, and then Kwame Dazi says that, please, when you take the shots, let me see what happens. Then his subordinates, they quickly, if everybody wants to work, then they load it. Then somebody follows somebody on that platform. Somebody likes, somebody also picks, send it to somewhere. Do you know that there are a lot of rights within the program that you have taken
That have been infringed upon?
That may be infringed upon. So all that I'm saying, that I am with Uncle Ken.
Yes,
it's true.
I agree.
But do we have it in writing? At least get a small paper that me, Kwame Dazi, have been made part of this show. These are the terms of my reference. I'm allowed to put this and this on
my monetized page.
On my monetized page. And it is for these purposes. So that tomorrow you are not. Otherwise, please, you can be taken on.
So that's exactly what I was going to drive at, because the key word from what George Quaye was trying to say was the monetized page.
Exactly.
Right? It means revenue is coming.
Exactly.
Right.
So it means that moving forward, all programs that we invite these bloggers and for them who have their own monetized pages, we need to then have certain level of documentation, so that should he put it there and then make money, or
you're
probably
entitled to a bit of it,
to something, or you say that you do not put it on your monetized page. Should I find out that it's on your monetized page, I will sue you. No, we're using you as a study case, like an example.
But Kojo, let me also play. Let me look at it from the other perspective. I am a blogger. I spent time and resources and money to build my page. The page has a certain number of following, which is good. That is why you want your content there.
Yeah, but not the monetized one.
Yes, no, but the one I have with the numbers that you want is monetized.
If it's monetized, then I have to go through the routine and let you know, because what it means is that he's giving you the publicity. You are fine, but he's making revenue. Meanwhile, when he came, I gave you Sole in addition. You took the Sole. Okay, you took the Sole plus making money for a whole year, a whole 20 years.
I took the Sole for transportation. But
yes, you understand.
So the monetized page, if I ask you to pay for it, pay for the exposure, how much will it amount to?
So they should also tell us, because then you coming to do it, you also came to also make revenue. In your mind, you know you're going to make revenue. Exactly. So then I also have to then state it in the invitation that I'm giving you, because I knew the power you have. That is why I brought you in. But the power that you have gives you extra mile to make revenue. okay, for yourself for the next 10 years, 15 years, because it's there, it's for you. And you're making...
And while making revenue, give you exposure.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it's the exposure.
Let me bring Kwame into the
TV
conversation. Yeah.
In this instance.
Yes.
So you invite Joy FM or Joy News to an event.
It's
To cover
exposure.
your event. Now, why are you concerned about the eyeballs or the people who are going to listen or watch your program on air than what you are gaining from the program?
No,
Because you invited the media house to give you publicity.
No, first of all, for coverage.
And what's coverage?
But don't you know that the content you give them is also going to give them audience, increase their patronage and all that? That is money. That is value. It's the same thing as a YouTube page which is monetized. So you are looking at it from the point that you are losing out to him, but you're not losing. You are gaining because he is going to, at the end of the day, give you what you want. The YouTube page you are using as an example, you are using it because of the word monetized. But the airtime we are using right now here is also monetized. Or you don't think so?
So, Kwame, let me ask you.
That is why you pay for airtime.
So, Kwame, let me ask you.
So if I put your content on radio or on TV.
Good. So if I pay for airtime for outside broadcast for OBs, let's say we hear and then somebody says, okay, I want to buy 1 hour of your time. The person paid for. I mean, the station doesn't own.
What I'm saying is
content.
that your content,
hold on.
is value for the station as well.
But the person that we did
Let me use Shatter and Stoneboy's
airtime.
example at VGMA, the gun pulling incident. Do you know the number of people,
the
the number of eyeballs,
Kwame, the alleged gun pulling incident.
the alleged gun pulling incident?
Was there no gun pull?
Do you know?
What is alleged about
I
this?
did not see a
Do you
gun.
know the traction that video gave TV stations in this
okay.
country?
The personal
Can you tell us? Would you tell me that VGMA lost in that regard? It was big publicity for VGMA.
No, but you see, it was.
Don't you you're laughing?
Me? No, I'm listening.
Which laughing?
Oh
No,
yes.
which publicity?
So don't think about you, the event organizer, losing out.
You see, my
Think
challenge
about the
here again
publicity
is that,
it is bringing to you.
Kwame, hold on. No. So George finishes with his program, everything.
Yes.
He gets his online team to sit, edits the same thing you went to edit, and then he also puts it on his monetized page. We all know what YouTube and its copyright issues are. So who put it there first for him to own that particular content? Because anytime you put somebody's content there, it gives you that flag that, hey, this person has already put this thing there. That's my challenge. So should you invite him to come do your show? It takes you 2 weeks to finish editing and do everything and then put it there. It takes him a day to put it there. He goes through the processes of owning that particular content.
Yeah.
And then you finally come to put your own there and they flag you and say that thing is not for you. So, and you're saying publicity.
No. So
which publicity am I talking about?
Assuming.
I'll give you an example. Hold on, Kwame. Let me give you an example that might help your conversation.
Oh,
No, it might help his conversation because now we are doing back and forth. So an example might help. My agency produced an advert for a client.
Yeah.
The client went to play the advert on a particular TV station, a TV commercial. Then we had also uploaded it on our Facebook page, okay? And then Facebook flagged it that somebody had uploaded that content as theirs.
Exactly.
So it was not going to play, so we needed to either take it down or contest it. We contested it, and the person withdrew his claim.
okay.
You understand? Because what they did was that their station, now digital media, everybody who's on radio or television also has social media. So they also uploaded what it was that they played. And they upload their content, so they added it to their content. You understand? So I had to contest it. So after we contested it, it was released. Now, if I'm going to go by your argument, it means if Kwame Dazi comes to say Samini Experience concert and uploads a content and we finish and we've edited and we are going to upload it, it will be flagged. But if it's flagged, there's an opportunity to contest what Kwame Dazi has posted, isn't there?
Sure.
Yeah, so why do we have to go through that process instead of we addressing it in the letter that we are giving them henceforth? That this is what it is.
Right.
That you
It's very simple.
before you come.
When we come for Run for Your Wife, we don't film, do we?
No, it's not allowed.
You know what is
So that's the
even
solution.
what is even happening to us. I mean, even the morning shows we do, and then we put it on our YouTube pages live and all that. Now they are flagging us for content.
Music.
Yeah.
Music and
Music
content.
and content,
So
yeah.
I have seen Joy FM maybe post on their page, a certain content, maybe road accident. Then in the morning show, we also pick because we are also giving them visuals. And then we pick it. Copyright flags us. Because it's a Joy FM thing, they
content
flag
that
you.
you've picked.
So now it is becoming difficult, even in the morning shows and other current affairs shows, to be using people's works. Okay, on their
and that's the way it should be.
Exactly my point. So now we then have to then deal with them now. That if I'm inviting you because you're monetizing and making money, we then have to go through that process.
Kwame does not have any issue.
Because that's the only platform I have.
Kwame, hold on. Let's hear Captain Abraham.
Kwame, actually, I don't see any issue here. Why would YouTube flag somebody? Why would they take down somebody? They just want to make sure that copyright laws are being
not
Exactly.
You understand the position.
Yeah.
However, there are relationships established between various companies. So if you invite a blogger, the blogger is to do A, B, C, D. There is, I'm sorry to use this word, but there is that a certain culture of hypocrisy over there that we all in a team knows what we are about. But nobody wants to give you the document until there is a problem. We know what Kwame is going to do for us. That's why he's taking the content. You understand the point? And we also know that Kwame has a monetized platform. And the reason for putting that thing on his platform is not actually to make the money, but you have engaged his services to do A, B, C, D. So the reason why he's putting it out there is in furtherance of the service that you have asked him to do. You understand? So it's a simple matter. This is not complicated. It's a matter that we are moving towards. We are in a global world now. We are moving closer to a single point where all of us need to define the work that we are doing within a particular space, so that when you go to put it on your page, then you can contest it. Then quickly. So why don't you, just like Ojo is saying, why don't you do the necessary documentation now, so that you don't even need to?
I've invited you to film.
Yes.
You invite a vlogger whose page is YouTube. An internal friend. Why do you call him in the first place? Because nowadays,
to provide
most
a
of them
service,
don't even write.
No. Kwame, the
They
thing,
wanna do videos.
Kwame, it might interest you to note that there are a lot of event planners that I hope are listening to this conversation.
Exactly.
Now. There are people that have churned out content that other people are making money from on
them,
digital media, and they are not even aware.
yes, it's true.
Because they are not privy to some of these. That is why we decided to have this conversation today. Because bloggers and vloggers and journalists are making money off people's content for free. And these people are not even aware. You understand? Because they put it, their pages are monetized. I don't have a problem with it.
Then tell them.
You understand? But that is why we are doing this education
film, but
today.
don't monetize it.
I want to bring the conversation into music, and I'm going to play 2 songs. Then when we come back from those songs, Captain Abraham, you tell us whether or not there has been any copyright infringement, and because I want to know whether and then we'll go into the deep, the music space itself. And I also know that, for instance, Captain Abraham has been very supportive of Image Bureau. We are unable, we try to follow rules. So for every music concert that we do, we go and take a license.
Wow.
Yes.
It's
Captain
very
will tell
simple.
you.
I mean, they do that.
We always take a license. There hasn't been a single
They
music
start at
concert.
the beginning of the year.
Yes.
In January,
At
and
the
they
beginning,
come, they
we
say,
go,
we'll do ABC.
we do and we take our license for it. Even if it is the musician's own, we even take license for Samini Experience.
Yeah.
Though it's a Samini headlining it, and it's Samini songs that he will play. Because Captain Abraham explained that the songs were not done by Samini alone.
Alone.
So we'll come to all that. So here is the first song. Please take a listen and then we'll come.
Okay, first of all, let me say that I am not a fully fledged musician.
Yes.
So there are a lot of those musicians over there, great musicians, who can give more information and education with this. But let me just use my expertise
On the face value.
on the face value, on the face of the tape.
Yes.
In every music, we have the lyrics, we have the composition,
Yeah.
we have the arrangements,
Yeah.
we have the progression of the thoughts,
Yeah.
then we have the production, and we have the sound recording. So you see, one music, lyrics,
Yeah.
composition,
Yeah.
arrangements,
Yeah.
progression,
Yeah.
the thoughts pattern of the lyric, the lyrical patterns, and then the production of the music. And at the end of the day, it becomes a sound recording. At any point in time, any of these facets of the music can be infringed upon.
Okay.
At any point in time,
Yeah.
it can either be the words, which is the lyrics, it can even be the thoughts, the progression of the words where the thought pattern is there. Da da di 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 da 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 da. We know dada already. Dada is a normal language.
Yeah.
Didi is also there.
Yeah.
But somebody will say da da di 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 da 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 da. So the moment it becomes a pattern, recordable, progressed, recorded, and it's become a sound recording, you cannot use the same thing. So you can say atia donko only. Atia is a key word. Donko is normal. So if somebody say matia donko atia, then it means that it's become a pattern which is there. You can't be using that in your song matia, then you are caught up. You can't say that it's a tree thing. Now let me come to the specific of this work. From where I sit, I do not know whether there's been a permission to use. The first one is a song that I don't know, you are younger chaps who came after 1990, but between me and Uncle Ken, when we were I was at Agri I was at Ganata in 1974, and at entertainment halls we danced to these tunes, you know. So these songs have been there. There is an element, if you look at the chorus line where it was picked clearly, something, that whole progression was picked and changed into Akan. It was Akanized. And after it was Akanized, it was done beautifully, very professionally. You understand the position that it is not very easy for somebody who is not a normal song interested person to know it. But for those of us who are in this media space and we are sitting behind the console all the time, you listen to this and say, is it not the same song that is being done? But you see that the intro of the song was totally different. This second one, which is the local,
the first one was Leo Iglesias, Now That Love Has Found Us. Yeah.
Then the second one, Julio Iglesias is at Joy, Kokomlemle. Then Akwabwa own started from Nyangpala. Nyangpala. Great song from Nyangpala. It was coming. So hardly will you know. Then by the time it got to Sawam, then Julio Iglesias met him at Sawam. You understand it? So if you are not very careful, the point is that it is allowed. I'm shocking you. It's allowed. There are norms in the industry that are allowed. We call a system of sampling. You understand?
Right.
But the point is that what is the extent of the sampling? What is the extent of the sampling? And who took permission to sample?
Captain, I understand the intricacies of the sampling. But are you saying that when you are sampling, you should not take care of the owner's moral rights by mentioning the fact that you have sampled from his work.
Okay, in fact, that's where I'm coming from. That's why I said that it's allowed. The law allows you to do ABC under certain conditions.
Correct, and that's one of the conditions.
Permission.
Exactly. One, you need permission.
Yes.
Even if there is a percent. Do you know that there is a limitation in copyright?
Yes.
For education purposes.
Of course. Yeah.
For reporting, for journalists.
Yeah.
When they want to make reports to the public, they can use the work. It's allowed under the law.
Right.
And then for education purposes, and also for the purpose of research that will benefit the public, society.
Yeah.
Then within the industry itself, they allow each other to do some norms. But all that they are saying is that first, you must acknowledge who is the original owner.
Thank you.
Two, there is what we call moral rights.
The moral right.
The moral right is that you are going to put it behind the work to indicate. That's why in the old days you find the cassettes. You say that composer, this arranger, this. Then you say that this portion belongs to that person. One of the greatest thing that happened to me 2 years ago, and let me say it, let me put it on record, was Sarkodie. He did a marvelous thing, and let me give kudos to his manager, Angel. You know, they use Papa Jansen, a piece of Papa Jansen song in the Efia, one of the
songs of the Fear.
Okay.
Yeah.
You understand the position?
Sister Fia.
Yeah.
Sister Fia.
The one Sister Fia, yeah.
Exactly. And before Sarkodie team did the work, Angel walked 2 months going up and down, coming to do documentation, to the point that we brought not only Papa Jansen's children, and then the producer of the album, who is Roots Music, who is dead now. Roots is dead now. And then they sat down. They told him, okay, we love it. We are happy. Go ahead. Do it. They wanted to use it. He said, you can use everything. Then Angel said, how much, daddy, do we have to pay? He said, look, you guys are going to promote our daddy. Do you know, pay us this little. And they added something. And then they sat together. They did documentation. And they signed. You understand? Yeah. So in that case, when you see the work, it is a work that has been derived from another.
Interesting.
And this now work belongs to Sarkodie and his people. But they are acknowledging that, and they place it on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
That Papa Jansen.
Captain.
So it's allowed.
Captain, you know what you've just said brings me to something I heard only yesterday, George. Very interesting thing I heard yesterday from Andy Dusty on his library show. Andy Dusty on his library show yesterday told us that Rex Omar's song Fawakuma Mami. Rex went to see CK Man because that was on a CK Man album about wanting to sample his song for his works. CK Man agreed to it and Rex sorted him out. Only for Papa Jansen to contact Rex later on to say to Rex, hey, Rex, now minya bermanyo na afa akofa minyum a me trowe jaya nyuma am kantrem. I was stunned.
Why were you stunned?
I was stunned because why didn't
CK Man mention that Papa was involved?
Mention that.
And then you still don't have answers.
No, but how can I have an answer now?
So with your permission, can I give him an answer?
Yes, please go ahead.
A question for Aji, who was his lead singer?
I have no idea. I wasn't there when they were singing.
No,
yes,
so learn it.
Okay, that's good.
So a question for Aji at that time was Amachi Dede.
Wow.
He was singing with Amachi Dede.
Interesting.
So you are younger guys. CK Man and the Carousel 7.
Yeah.
Who were they? CK Man,
Papa
Jansen, but Thomas.
Yeah.
Do you understand it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So in those days, you have F Kenya,
right,
and the guys. Now, in those days, what was happening is that there were people who were writing songs under the leader.
Right.
Do you understand the position?
Now I get
so
the position.
It was the leader's name.
Yes,
that was normally placed on top of the album. And then everybody, by our own culture, they kowtow to the leader. So Rex was okay by going to CK Man. But Rex didn't know He has no knowledge. Now, Papa Yansin comes to tell you that, hey, you understand?
But you wrote it under a leadership.
Exactly,
there
he
were
was.
three writers for that song.
For that song, Pat Thomas was also a writer.
Yes, but Thomas,
And
they
Secure.
did a lot of. Do you know this song? Let me just blow your mind with this. Sewakoto.
Yeah. That's is it the Yamwas?
Yamwas.
Yeah. The Yamwas, yeah.
Now,
Yamwa's
who
band.
was doing the vocals on Yamwa?
I have no idea. I can't pretend I know.
It's Kwesi P's father, Ejeku.
Oh, nice.
You understand the position?
It feels like we are doing a groove.
You understand the position?
Yeah.
Now, all the years, and PK Yamwa happens to be one of the greatest guitarists
Yes.
of all time. Kwame Ampedu went to PK Yamwa to learn. Yes. So he's calling his master. You understand? But God gave PK Yamwa the composition, the guitar and everything. He didn't give him the voice.
Yeah.
So it was
Ejeku.
Ejeku's father. And I remember very well in 1983 when I was sharing the first royalties of my life that Ejeku.
You said the first royalty in the middle of the hangar.
Yes.
Very
At that time,
strategic.
BBC paid 3 million cities.
Wow.
And that was what and that was sharing royalties. And then when everybody was coming to collect the money, Ejeku also came and said that Abraham, now I will as a real no you. I must watch his canoe. And that was the first time I learned the difference between an artist and a composer. You understand the point? I suddenly came to the grips of learning that he was only the vocalist. And then the real owner of the song was PK Yamwa. And that was why Ejeku quickly started writing his own songs.
Let me go to another batch of songs and then we'll come back to the studio for the conversation. Let's listen to these songs. I'll come back very soon.
So what happened to the
no. But I think that in all fairness,
But I think there's a
this is one of the beautiful pieces
Very,
that I've
very,
listened.
very.
And I don't think there is your understanding of infringement may be wrong.
Okay.
So let us exploit it.
This time, the infringement here for me is not in the vocals. It is in the instrumentation.
Okay, good. That's where I'm coming
That
from.
is it.
This is the original Yaponsa.
Kwame, your microphones are like so. Yes.
This is the original
Yaponsa rhythm. Yeah.
Rhythm.
Yeah.
Which all musicians have built upon it, and we call it high life. And don't forget that maybe one of these days we need to do the history and ramification of high life across the West African region.
We sure will. Yeah.
High life spread, and its network
Ghana man.
spread all from Ghana through Benin, went through Cotonou, their capital, went to Liberia, landed in Nigeria, in the northern part of Nigeria, and then it turned back to Ghana. In those days, the Ghanaian rights owners and artists were the most celebrated musicians. So they left this as basis in all the countries, and each of these countries picked the same Yaponsa, did a lot of work on it. So what you are seeing now, look at the inflection. You can see this is a great piece of work, and that is why I can tell you that we as a nation.
Where are you going with a great piece of work?
Yes, I mean, let's acknowledge what is good.
But
and let's also
that's not
acknowledge
in question.
what has
No,
been
not at all.
infringed.
Yes.
But I'm trying to say that we as a nation have lost a lot in copyrighting our own national stuff.
Okay.
You understand the position? This one is a national stuff. High life, national stuff. Folklore. There are a lot
folklore, that
of
was what I was
folkloric
gonna say.
issues
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
And you will be surprised that Ken, who I've just forgotten because we are growing old. This guy came from the US, and he wanted to pick just about 10 seconds. Paul Simon. And you know, he paid over $20,000.
That was in the 80s.
That was in the 80s, just because he researched and got to know that this Yaponsa Paul Simon, and that was how they established the Ghana Folkloric Board. You understand? And the funny thing that, let me drop, because I'm no more in the cooperative, so I'm not afraid to drop this thing. And they used that £20,000 to set up the folkloric board. They never registered any other thing, and all that money went down with under meetings and allowances and all those kind of things. So what you played now, from my side of it, is a complete, it's the totality of what you played of the first one.
Yeah.
And the first one that you played is also coming out of the original Yaponsa, Jacob Sam. You understand the position? So everything is traceable to Jacob Sam. Jacob Sam is dead. The copyright, the duration of copyright is 70 years.
70 years after that.
Yes.
Surviving.
Yes, the last surviving. The key is that it's become, if Paul Simon paid money and is now part of the state, has the state of Ghana registered High Life in its total ramification? Before we can follow this the Beninois is also entitled to their derivative, but their derivative is coming from. But let us start now and say that, there is money for the High Life, and you see how Nigerians will fight us, how the Liberians will also fight. Everybody will say that High Life came from High Life, came from High Life. You understand the position? So I don't really see anything of much infringement, because I think that
It's only because you like the song.
Because Yaponsa.
Anyway, gentlemen, hold on. I'm gonna go to the phone line briefly.
It's
I'll come.
only because you
I'll
like
come
the
back
song.
to you in a bit. Let us speak to Council Bobby Bunson. Council, good afternoon. How are you doing, sir?
I'm fine, sir. How about you?
We're very well, thank you, and thank you for making time to speak to us and educate us a bit on Joy 99.7 FM Showbiz A to Z. We are talking about copyright and intellectual property. I'll go straight to the point because I know you don't have a lot of time. Look, if somebody infringes on my intellectual property right, what legal avenues are available to me, and how far can I go?
Well, the law provides quite some wide range of remedies, from criminal to civil actions. So depending on the breach and the intellectual property that is being infringed upon, you can decide to commence criminal proceedings. So as you know, intellectual property could be copyright, it could be trademark, it could be patent, it could be what the lawyers call unfair competition, passing off, as it were. The law empowers the security agencies, from the police, the customs, to take steps to prevent or prosecute breaches of passing off or counterfeit products, if that is that has been infringed upon. When it comes to what I think will interest you most, which is the copyright issues, if you believe that somebody has unlawfully breached your intellectual property rights in that regard, your option would be to take civil action. And so you could first, normally what lawyers do is we write what you call desist letter. So you can write to the offender, tell him that these are my rights, I have seen that you are breaching it, and that you have to stop within X number of days, or I'll exercise my right to take you to court. Mm-hmm. If the person persists in that breach, then you have no option than to file a suit in the commercial court in Ghana. Ask for intention to restrain the person from further breaching.
Very interesting.
Declaration that it's your right that has been.
Oh, Counsel, your line. I don't know, Counsel. If you can hear me, can you position yourself a bit properly? Your line is a bit.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay. Is this stable now?
I think we can go on. Yes, thank you.
Okay. So in the civil action, you could ask for a declaration that it is your intellectual property that has been breached. In that regard, you must prove that you are the owner of that product. It's an original product, and that you have not copyrighted it unlawfully belonging to somebody. Once you're able to prove that level, it means you've established that you have a legal right in that work that requires protection from the court. Right. Then you can then ask for damages from the breach, and depending on your reputation or the industry you've put in creating that work, the court may grant you X amount or Y amount of money as compensation for the breach. And you could also ask for an indictment to restrain the offender or persons who are connected to the offender. So those are some of the remedies available if your IP rights have been infringed.
Awesome. Sounds good. Now, let us assume I have a creative piece of work, and I have no idea how I can make it legitimately mine. Because all this conversation, every time I hear lawyers speak about copyright, intellectual property, there's always that word, prove. You have to prove it is yours. I have released a piece of music. I have done some cane basket work of art. I have done something that I went to display at Chalawati Street Festival. How do I now make it mine so that if Kwame Daze infringes on it, I can call you, we can sue him and share the money?
Okay, when it comes to the copyright, so copyright would be, for example, artwork, writing a book or a song or anything. We did a case recently. The judgment is out, so it involved a state institution that had used a song by a producer that featured one of our A-list artists for their programs, educational programs. I think Road 50 something. And their defense was that there is no evidence that the song is for us. I mean, it's for our clients.
Okay.
And our response was quite simple. If you go to YouTube and you Google, it comes up as the author. And I'm saying that it comes to your question, where do we have a database where people's catalog are recorded and are recognized, so that it's easy for persons internationally to be able to ascertain that, okay, this song belongs to this person, that song belongs to this person. Do we have the election society holding these databases? I mean, I'm going into the larger question.
Yeah.
But as we have it, you're only allowed to prove that song is for you. It's mostly your reputation. So if I put out a song and it comes out that on YouTube, you go there, it's for me, on Spotify, me, on Tidal, all these music distribution apps, my name is there as author. Then it is, as the lawyers will say, is there evidence that the song is for me. If you find collection to the publishing houses, that this is your song. That is also evidence. If somebody else says that you have sampled part of the song is not original, it belongs to him, then that becomes a dispute. And so in that instance, it will not be enough for you to say, if you go to YouTube, and you think that song.
Counsel, the line is not helping us. It's bad. Hello?
I am so sorry.
Yeah, no, it's all right. It's all right. So you can wrap it up and then, yes.
Okay, so I think those are the basic ways of being able to demonstrate that you are indeed the owner of the copyright.
Solid. So thank you very much. I mean, I'm sure if we're going to continue a conversation in studio, but if there's a need to have any more legal clarity, we'll definitely ring you up again.
Sure.
Thank you, Counsel. Bless you. And that was lawyer Bobby Benson. Yes, a very good friend there. He's clarified. He says, yes, you can, even if you upload on YouTube and you're the first and you've gone through the right, but that is also where my fear is. Because it means if Kwame Dazi releases a song today and I happen to be in the studio and while they are testing it, I put my phone on record and I record it and I finish and I call my editor and he does a lyrics video for me and I upload on YouTube, it is mine.
Yeah.
It is not yours.
How is it not mine? According to what the lawyer said, if I'm able to prove that it's... Yes, I've published it.
First
to publish. Yes.
Published it.
Yes.
It means that it is yours. That's what the lawyer said.
Or maybe I didn't.
Maybe you didn't.
Maybe I didn't hear him well.
What he said is right.
He
in effect, what he's saying is that he mentioned database.
Yes, of course.
Then number two, then he
which we don't have.
It is important for you to prove.
Yes.
And that's why first publication is of importance.
Great importance. That's the
trying
point.
to say.
Yes.
But he's not saying that because you publish it. Because don't forget that under the law, under the act, registration of the work does not amount to ownership of copyright. Kwame, you can be confused. Because all that we are in effect trying to say is that the first person who runs to go and register may not be the owner. Just as he's saying. Because in the studio, whilst you are doing the work, somebody, and I will today, let me say that after my 30-something years in this industry, what the lawyer said is of significant thinking for all of us.
Yes, it is. That's why I decided to go that way. Because we don't have the catalog.
Yes,
we don't have the
database.
It's not there.
So how do
that is why I decided to go there.
And our culture has not helped because in other jurisdictions, they don't just produce songs. When the song is birthed, they manuscript the song. Manuscripting the song even is publishing by putting it out there. So what the lawyer in effect is trying to say is that for you to prove ownership, don't forget that the first person who publishes it is known to be the person.
Because that's how we deal with things in Ghana.
Don't forget that under the law, ideas are not copyrightable. Do you know that?
Yes, of course.
Ideas are not copyrightable.
Ideas
so
are
you
not.
have the song in your head,
and
you are singing it around Katamanto, and you have been singing it around the place all the time. And you keep on singing it, and everybody heard it, and they know that you have been using that song to sell fools. And then somebody with a musical ear picks it,
put some beats on it,
beats and everything to it. And then you don't really care. But when the sales of force goes down for you, that's why I didn't come in here. And then you don't have any record.
Of it.
So just as Uncle Ken and the guys are saying,
what shall I say, song?
Captain, what shall I say? It's a derivative. In fact, I love that song. What shall I say? Everybody is looking at it in negative. I'm looking at it in the positive way.
No, we're not looking at it negative.
Oh, no,
it's
not you.
In the line of what
shall I
saying.
say should be the song of the century. Because because the original song is what shall I say unto the Lord? And then look at it from what shall I say? Da-na-na-na. And it becomes a song that everybody is singing. Do you forget that it will eclipse the original song? But in this case, it is not a derivative work. It is totally the same thing with what shall
Captain. You know what George?
Yes.
This conversation is so rich. this conversation we're having this afternoon
Yeah.
is so rich, and I'm so glad I'm part of it.
Yeah.
You know, this catalog matter you're talking about, that we don't have the catalog. Back in the day, when there was vinyl recordings,
The RPM.
if you bought a vinyl record, there would always be an inner sleeve
Sure.
with liner notes as to who
All the details.
every single person, even if it was hand claps,
The name is there.
their names are there.
Totally.
Totally, George.
Totally.
I mean, everything is there. So back in the day when you bought an LP and you placed it on the turntable and you were blasting, you just picked the liner notes while listening to the song.
And then,
you're going through the liner notes, knowing who plays bass, who plays keyboards, who birthed the song, who's the engineer.
Yeah, sure.
You
Everything
know,
was there.
Everything is there.
Treble. Who did treble? Who did auto? Who did everything?
And up
was
to
there.
today, with the new media, if I pick an album that was produced in 1965 and I'm able to type the name on Google to find out about the album, I get all this information.
So what happened?
Now what is happening is production these days have become a one-man, two-man artist engineer affair. So all other contributors, and maybe there are no contributors, I don't know, but all other people are left out.
No.
I don't know, because you see, if Shatawale, hold on, if Shatawale tells me that he can go into his studio, George, and produce, and in his house, in a matter of a month, he can produce 10 songs.
More than that, 1,000.
By himself, who's he going to add
Yes.
as help? So the digital space has allowed people to get away from adding people who help them, maybe even in a discussion. You wanted to do a high life song, and I say to you, oh, shall I use the Yapon Sound riff to do it? Am I not supposed to be credited?
So the question to you, Uncle Ken, is whether in the other jurisdiction is the same thing being done, or they are doing
Which
it
other
differently?
jurisdiction?
I
are you
mean,
talking
I'm not
about?
talking about Ghana. Let's say
Other
the
places.
US.
I don't know.
your place. Aha.
With the new media.
So let me say this, and I'm not saying it in a negative way. Every time the black man pick up something to do, we think of freedom. Freedom to do it our way.
Right.
You understand the
Right.
position?
Right.
We think of freedom to do it our way. So today we have social media, and we are just rifting everything on social media without recourse to the rules and norms of the industry. In every recording, there is what we call work code, and there is a recording code. In fact, most local Ghanaian musicians and with people within us, but they are losing a lot because there are a lot of their work that are being exploited all over the world that people don't even know who the work belongs to. So there is always what we call the black box. So there is money locked up in the black box because there are songs that people are playing recently. Gemma, you know Gemma? Gemma, the society in Germany.
Oh, okay.
The society in Germany somebody wanted to reproduce an old work of Jedouble Ambole, and it's a German, and he just went to Gemma and told Gemma that I've seen this song Jedouble Ambole. I want to reproduce 50 copies of that work.
Wow.
And then Gemma did their documentation, and they said you have been referred to Gamro. Because in their space, you cannot bring out that work without Gemma authorization.
Right.
And Gemma will take the authorization from Ghana.
From Gamro.
And then when Gamro also consulted Jedouble said, Captain, go ahead. Then he went ahead, paid the money to Gemma. Gemma transferred the money. Jedouble came to pick the money. All that I'm trying to say is that anytime you find
how
the
much?
black...
How much?
Why do you
How
want to
much?
oh, he came to take the money, so you can call him and ask him that, how much did he take? Because for the avoidance of doubt.
Yeah, if you mention a figure and it's wrong.
These days, the GRA people listen a lot. So they said if anything like this, I should ask on their behalf.
GRA.
Yeah,
if I tell them that actually the money was not released to Jedubli, it was left in Germany.
Okay.
You understand the position?
Yes. Then let's move forward.
You recall last year, there was this issue between Gambro, MTN, Vodafone, and others.
Yeah.
You understand the position? The question that we were then asking is that in their jurisdiction in South Africa, why do they pay? And why is it that when they come here and people say color things, then they say that it is you who brought your content and blah, blah, blah. So the problem that has happened with us, and I'm not saying that Kojo or Kwame is that every time that you put the black man into a space, we normally think of freedom without any other responsibility. If, for example, Shatta is one of our nicest, greatest artists, is growing to a legend. I love that guy, and he can do 50 songs in a week. He has a computer, he has everything. Obviously, there are people who are helping him. Is that not it?
Yeah.
There may be people who may be bringing other songs. There may be joint or but the question is that what documentation is being done?
Yeah.
The people themselves go and they say that, please, you do it for me. He's even happy. And then he gives it to Mr. B to do something. If that song becomes so, then he goes around Katamanto and around the area. And so what? So until we as a people, we set up a system. And unfortunately, some of these things, because of the rights involved, this is not the work of Gambru. This is the work of the owner of the work. You see, you are the owner.
Yeah,
you are the owner. You are the composer.
Yeah.
Ken is the publisher.
Yeah.
There is this puppy issues. Is that not it?
Yeah.
There is this puppy issues.
Yeah, with Apietus and all.
No, I've not mentioned anybody's name.
But it's
Apietus and Papi.
Exactly.
Apietus and Papi.
It's in the.
Why do you refuse to mention Apietus and mention Papi?
Yeah.
But who do you think I'm referring as Papi? But who do you think I'm referring as?
The
Papi?
musician.
No. Oh,
So who are you?
But
this guy who sells watches. So you allow me to, give you the details.
Captain, please go on.
Captain, what we're talking about is public note.
Papi, the watch seller, go on.
So,
Yes. Papi's father creates one of the best watches.
Yeah.
So if you get to Nima, under the overhead, you see Papi, inshallah.
Allah.
Now this guy does all the watch, adds everything to it.
Yeah.
And his son Papi only come to sell. You understand the position? Now he leaves this watch, gives it to somebody, and he says that Kwame Dazi is his friend. And then this guy knows a little book. He look at the whole thing and then he catalogs everything. And he says that watch a plan then we know how to make money out of it. Then the guy is making money out of it. Then suddenly Papi's father begin to cry. You understand that? It is this guy who came to me. I taught him ABCD. The question that you ask yourself, Nkosi Dabeng, until when do we know how to document, catalog, do documentation in terms of agreement? You understand the position? As your company is one of the new fledgling companies that are doing events.
Yeah.
You can as well do what all the others are doing. Because in fact, when you pay royalties, you are losing money.
Yeah.
But you are also enhancing
the industry.
You are also enhancing the work of the industry.
Yeah.
So you choose that out of your profits, you will still take out 40% and give it to the right owners. As much as you are losing on record, you just decide that you do the right thing. You understand the position? Yeah. And some people decide that they will not do the right thing and they will go around complaining. And the biggest problem you have in this industry is that people can't stand up to their rights. They will only talk. I'll do this. And then before you realize, some uncles have been sent to go and see him. And then those uncles said that, now why now no kasa only preko dear Jan preko di
my boy.
Me no be kasa. So that has been the problem.
Captain, why are you skirting around certain issues?
Is he skirting around?
Yeah.
Yes,
you wanted him to hammer.
He's actually, but no,
Yes.
George.
Captain.
Captain, this Papi and Apietus matter.
Yes.
That.
Oh,
hold on.
Papi and Apietus matter have not been brought for discussion.
Okay,
No, wait.
Unless that matter, if that matter is up for discussion,
let me
I will
finish what-
comment.
Let me finish what I want
Let's
to
say
say.
Uncle Ken. Uncle Ken,
Let
go
me
ahead.
finish what I
Uncle Ken,
want to
please
say.
go ahead.
Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Kojo felt that you were talking about that matter.
No, I wasn't
Okay,
talking about that matter.
good. But Kojo has raised that matter.
Yes.
Okay.
And that matter is in the public domain.
Yes.
So what
as
is
we
it?
speak.
Okay.
What I want to know from you, after listening to both sides on that matter, what can you tell us went wrong?
Okay. So what do I know? What do we know? What is in the public space now? Papi, Bull God, then Apietus. Number one. That is the relationship.
Yeah.
Papi did some work. So obviously,
Let's say 5-5 did some work because
Yeah.
Papi 5-5 is not Papi alone.
It's not Papi alone.
So
Yeah,
5-5.
so 5-5 did some
So
work.
5-5. And advisedly, there may be background that I may not be.
You're not privy to.
All of us.
So I'm only saying this on the face of the sheet.
Yeah.
On the pink sheet.
Yeah.
And I'm not also. This is also not a judgment.
Yeah.
No.
And I'm also aware that as at the time that I'm making this comment, there is no legal issue at the courts.
Yeah.
Right.
At the
In
moment.
fact, I want to find out whether a suit is being
No.
an
Not that
action
we
is
know.
being taken.
Not
in
that
suit.
we know.
So for the judiciary, I beg you. I have no knowledge about any suit as at the time that I'm making this comment. So I do not want to sound prejudicial.
No.
And I'm making this comment only in furtherance of education.
Captain, please, can you
For public discourse.
Yes. Deal with the thing?
And
I
that's
know,
what
I
agree.
know,
We
please, I'm
agree.
saying that.
Yeah, you
for
should- why
education-
is issuing disclaimer plenty like that?
Allow. Captain, please go
I'm
ahead.
only saying this. I'm making this comment for public
Education.
And that's what we want.
Let's
That's
move
what
forward,
we
Captain.
want.
Please go ahead now to
and
the.
for the humor of the public.
No.
Without the substance.
No. This is too serious for humor.
So in this case, I just listened to Papi
Yeah.
on what happened, and you can see that initially he didn't even take it on behalf of the fives. He didn't even take it serious. So he first called the colleague AP, and colleague AP, and he said, "Oh, colleague AP, this thing." Somebody said he was doing ABCD on this thing, and then saw ABCD. Then initially, colleague AP disclaimed knowledge. That I don't know. Okay. Then he said, "I will check." Then later on, he found out that it was part of colleague AP selections that is being put on them. Now, the state of the law is very clear. Section 5 of the law, exclusive rights.
Right.
It is only the owner. Is the only the owner of a work, whether he has paid you in the studio or he hasn't paid you, irrespective of whatever the arrangement is, you do not have the right to exploit any other person's work. So in this case, without any further background knowledge, I can comfortably say that if there is any information unknown to me, colleague AP do not have the right to go and put it onto a social media platform, because one, he is not the owner, he is not the creator of the work, he is not the publisher, so to speak, to own the sound recording rights. So the moment that happens, there is an infringement of rights,
And he's monetizing that.
that's why I'm saying that exploiting the work. I'm using the word
you use
exploitation.
exploitation.
So it means that, and then for him to even say, colleague AP say that, oh, media share ya na ya disikaba.
Yeah.
It means that colleague AP is even acknowledging financial benefit.
Right.
And the moment there is financial benefit, there are documentation to indicate specific music that was exploited on the platform for which money is being brought to you.
Yeah.
So even if you claim a mistake, the question you ask yourself, am I the owner of the work? If you are not the owner, then you have infringed on the guy's work. And for this,
Captain,
the law is very
don't go
clear.
any further.
The law is clear.
I think we should.
It's
yes.
both criminal and civil.
Don't go any further.
Okay.
That's all we were asking for.
That's it. I think we should
So
move
all
forward
the
then.
disclaimers that you issued,
Do you wanted to say this, and you're issuing plenty disclaimer like that.
All right, so we're gonna move forward. Captain,
Happy to.
we'll say thank you. Squad, so we're moving forward. We're running out of time, and if we don't bring this one, we will probably have to find another time to continue this conversation on this right and intellectual property issue. Because look, for the lack of knowledge, my people perish. Because there was a conversation that was had early on, and in the same Apietus thing, Apietus did indicate that they owed me, they didn't pay and all those things. And if the gentlemen had uploaded it themselves from the very onset, they probably would have made money to pay Apietus. So it means there are a lot of musicians out there who are losing money without even knowing they are losing money. It is for purposes like that we hold some of these conversations. Unfortunately, a lot of them wouldn't even listen. That's the sad part. Unfortunately. But well, if you're hearing and you have a friend who's into music or a manager or something, this whole thing is going to be on our Facebook page. You can go look at it later on. And then yes, you can go look at it later on and get some education. Captain has done some great education here today. Good evening, GQ. Good you are discussing this topic. As you rightly said, new media has made it worse. Check se Wudomia Befemano Donate song was used cover to cover. The Abuajida Costa 1-2 by Kwame Eugene. That's Tom from North K. Showbiz A to Z, Rihanna's contract with Super Bowl specifically has advertising of a beauty product line in the course of the program as part of the contract from Kofi. Okay. Hello, George, and the Showbiz A to Z team. I'm into craft, i.e. head, gears, heart, etc. If I create a piece from scratch, something novel, and someone recreates it, can I take the person on in terms of copying my work? That's Renee Aku Apedo from Dodowa. This one says, happy birthday to Jason Owusu of Riches of Glory Academy Class 1. Grow gracefully. GQ, happy birthday. Wished my lovely girl, diehard fan of the best entertainment show south of the Sahara, and a proud UUU Nation member, the day head girls prefect of Ganata SHS, Precious Sika Aram Buanyame. Please say something to her for me, and I know she'd be the happiest person on earth this afternoon. Kweku from Dodoa. Oh, sweetheart, happy birthday to you. Continue to be great, Sika Aram. God bless you. Right, so Marine Drive, Focap, and Kwame Dazi. Have you guys followed the Marine Drive story? Yeah. You have? Okay. Now,
Why do you ask that question?
I should ask. You don't take things you cannot take it for granted. It's very important.
All over the place.
Yes, you need to. Look, work on the Marine Drive project, an initiative to develop the 241-acre prime beachfront of Accra is progressing very, very slowly as a result of lack of funds. This was recently reviewed at the Public Accounts Committee meeting by the Chief Director of the Ministry of Tourism, Mr. John Yao Agbeko. While explaining that the project was no longer under the auspices of the Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture, but under the Office of the President, he also stated that it had run out of funds. Let's hear exactly what he said at that event, and then we'll come back and have a conversation. Yeah?
Where is the money? Where did it go? The Marine Drive account money, where is it?
I'm afraid, Honorable, I wouldn't be able to. Honorable Chair, works under the Marine Drive project are progressing very, very slowly. Very, very slowly. And there isn't much progress report to be given now. Thank you.
Our money, when our money, our money, when our money.
So you heard. Kojo, let me start from you.
Well, this Marine Drive, it's interesting. The episodes that we're hearing, I think that I must say that thank you so much for your station and then your program to raise matters of this nature. I think that we are losing it. It's not fair to us. Accountability has become something that we don't demand, especially coming from the Ghana Tourism Ministry of Tourism, Art and Culture. Why am I saying this thing? Listen, this 387,000 K we're talking about, we were told, okay, I think in 2021, that we've misapplied the money by using it to do Afrima. Okay. Part of the money was used to finance Afrima. Part of the money was used to finance Kundum Festival at then Minister of Tourism's constituency. And we are still asking ourselves where the money is. It's shocking. Now, this same ministry told us that there's a budget of 4.5 million allocated for Afrima, and that money has been budgeted for that 3-year thing that Afrima was going to do. Afrima abrogated the law, the contract, did one pay and then left, and gave us reasons why they left. We did not go through the reasons to really find out from ministry why the people left. The Minister Barbara came to tell us that, we should let it go, and that it is okay, it is over, whatever we spent, let's leave it and all those things. And we are here asking where the 387,000 is when we know where we used the money. I think that it's something that we seem to be joking. I felt pity for the chief director to say that, listen, there's no money in the coffers, when we know in 2018 or 2018 thereabout to 2019, president came to tell us that we've allocated almost $1.5 billion or so for this particular project, when we know that Ajayi and Associate, through the plan, has taken his money already, when we know this project is ongoing, and all of a sudden we saw a full stop to it, and they are not telling there's no money in their account, and that project is as slow as anything. And I'm asking myself, so if project is as slow as anything, where is the $1.2 billion or million allocated for the project? Who is holding that account? Why do they take a decision to then take the Marine Drive from the Ministry of Tourism, Art and Culture and take it to presidency? And now, fast forward, they are telling us that they are not even bringing the cathedral now from presidency to Ministry of Tourism, Art and Culture. So they are adding a certain budget to it until minority came in to speak about it. I am worried if this is how we are celebrating or we are seeing our creative arts industry, or probably the Ministry of Tourism, Art and Culture, to do things for us. There's a whole project where we have cut out a whole cultural center, the Greater Accra Office of Cultural Center, out of that place, and we are now saying that they don't even have an office. Listen, they have divided the office into 3 parts, some at Ghana House, some at some places and all that. But the communication they are giving us is that they have taken Art Center, from there to Kaukwidi. What they have taken us from there is the market. Okay, the market is what they have taken out of the Marine, where it is the Art Center.
Yeah.
But the Art Center itself, which is an office, which does its things in terms of doing their work, we have taken that historical thing out of that particular place, and it's an agency under the Ministry of Tourism, Art and Culture, and we are happily talking about it as if it is something that we don't have to deal with it. Listen, if we don't push, this project is going to be there, and then we'll finish the cathedral. We will finish this cathedral, and Marine Drive will still be there. We have not even finished the school project that we were told that it is 70 to 75% done. We have not even finished that one. and we are happy saying that we can't find the money. I mean, the answer to it alone was scary. For him to say there's no money in the fund. Actually, it's crazy. I get scared when I hear things like this. So who has spent the money? Catherine came to tell us that he has refunded these monies that they're talking about.
They said they refunded how much? 900 cedis or so.
And how much have they refunded?
Less
than 100 cedis.
Hold on, let's hear about the refund. Yeah, because Catherine Afeku says the Marine Drive money was refunded. She said it in an interview, I think it was a year ago on Peace FM or something, if I'm not mistaken. We have the voice. Let's take a listen to that.
On the 3rd of July, Western Region, minim de almost say official assignments, and also 130 million.
13,000, no. Now, my Western Region, when we went with stars. Every time I travel, I try to go with either the creative arts people, fashion people, or anybody in the industry that can be projected. That's all. Into that day, no pictures near I'm trying to remember who we took on that trip. So my date in a year, I think was about a fashion group. Yeah, they were more quiet. Say, Gloria and microphone. But me were record singing now. Me I wanna me fee. They be a me call. I don't take money from government to go to my home. And I'm young kasano me fee. Into me I made me fee a 13,000. But every time I travel, it doesn't mean the nipa me no me and sabe count. I will move fee industry no more. What didn't call baby no customer you who no cramp and some no ajo. Sana normally, yeah. And it's a who be sa. And there was this of 900 CDs. Yeah, you need Toyota Fueshia at Nasi. They have to drink water. See, everything you do in the ministry, it's on record. And there's no malfeasance.
Has the money been returned?
It has been returned. And I make us say, Siani Po, Agbeko, Chief Director, Agbeko, or 2018 year, me 1 year, it was already budgeted for. On a different line item, it was already done. It was already done, and it was done before even Agbeko came to sit at that seat.
So if it was refunded, how is Agbeko? Was it not Agbeko who said there was no money?
It's the same Agbeko.
So where's the money?
Yes, it's the same Agbeko.
Kwame, where's the money?
Maybe they have used that money to do other things for the project. Because it is still ongoing, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, the last time Philip and I visited the site was about that was the day we met Dr. Yuan doing one of his useless videos at the Independence Square. you know, see, but there was no work there. The guy said they had moved the tractors to Kumasi or everything because there was no work going on. That was like 2 years ago.
So the question is, was there money in the account? Yes. They gave 387 196,000.
Yeah.
No. As how the money was used.
To
Catherine said, according to Catherine Afeku, she said 200,000 was drawn from the Marine Drive Fund for Kundum Festival in 2018.
Okay.
He said it was used to pay artists that performed at the festival. And let me quote her. She said, we had artists, and I have a list of all of them who performed and were paid. Everybody can go to YouTube and they will see the performers performing. She said on City FM, I think in August 2021 or so. She said, I didn't go around dishing money into people's hands. Ask anybody who does events. We use the 200,000 to take care of the likes of Medical, Stoneboy, Wiser Grade, Kwame Eugene, Kiddy, Kwesi Arthur, among others. I was promoting our local artist, and it was not a crime. So you go on.
I think what we should reconcile now is whether Catherine refunded that money. Because if John tells us that there is no money in the account now, it doesn't mean Catherine did not refund the money. Maybe she refunded and they've used it.
Who used it?
The ministry, the fund. You don't get it, because Catherine told us last year that she had refunded the money to the ministry, to the fund. Mm-hmm. That was last year. Mm-hmm. Now John is telling us that there is no money in the account, so maybe she sent the money to them. So we need to find out from John or Catherine. Apart from that, AG's report now, this year, is telling us that they have recovered just 900 Ghana cedis. But last year, Catherine told us that it was a mistake. That thing they said that they had misapplied that amount of money. Mm-hmm. It was a mistake because she had refunded the money. Mm-hmm. So why are we still talking about the money not being refunded? What is the missing link here?
No, the question is, so if I were Catherine, I'd be worried.
Yes.
Because if I were and I don't know, Uncle Ken and Captain, I don't know. Because if I were Catherine and my name is being dragged like this, because everybody is mentioning Catherine, and Catherine is very vocal. And in fact, one of the things I loved about Catherine Afeku was her ability to be very, very vocal. So I'm surprised she's quiet because this is your name.
Okay, for me, I will take this thing from a different perspective altogether.
Yeah.
That is industry-led. We have a project meant for the benefit of the industry.
Yeah.
The Marine Drive project.
Yeah.
What was the genesis of the project? Where were we going to get? Where were we told? And where were we told that money was going to come from? Obviously, it wasn't a private system. It was government related.
No, it's private. It's private partnership.
Yes, PPP. Yeah, that's, in fact, I intentionally wanted with you all guys said that if we are not very careful, we will lose the focus of where we should follow this matter. For example, in the matter of the cathedral, every Ghanaian got to know that government was not going to be involved. Money will be gotten from the Christians or whatever it is. So people started rising up when they found government funds being invested. So the key question and the critical issue is that the Marine Drive project, I got to know right from day one. And today is the first day that I'm talking about this Marine Drive. PPP projects. There were a lot of livelihood around there. There were a lot of official government businesses around the place. The art center, then the private individuals who were there, and people had to be moved, musica, and so government had to spend extra money, to provide housing. Just as you said, you found some people at Ghana House, some people at Kalkudi and all the rest. That's okay, fine. Government want to evacuate the place so that the project goes on. The critical question is that where are we with the project? That's the critical issue.
Very slow.
Where are we with the project?
Progressing slowly.
I'll tell you where.
So number one. Number two, we are getting information with respect to funds that were meant for the project that has been misapplied.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't even think that we should waste even 1 second of our space even discussing the matter, because there are people who can be held responsible. Of course, our man behind the console, have you been part of that money?
Not yet.
Have you been part of that money?
No.
Kwame, have you been part of Uncle Ken? Do you know anything about that money? So we who are sitting here, 1, 2, 3, 4, please, we are telling you that we don't know anything. But those who are involved, and for whatever purpose they are responsible to do work, we are hearing that 387196 has been misapplied.
Yes.
You understand them? And the money for the project seems to be in abeyance. It seems some of them are fizzled out. Some, we are saying that we as industry-led players, we are concerned. Then the last one is, it's unfortunate. Whenever you drive this discussion, you find only one thing. What is it about everything in this country that is linked to Ajayi design? And then the Flagstaff House, is that it? The Jubilee House. Every time you find a project that is moved from a place to the Jubilee House, then there are a lot of questions to be raised. It is important that at this point, for the avoidance of doubt, this is also a whole industry where all the political parties, whenever they are coming to power, they make various promises. They say a lot of things in manifesto, and they do all sorts of things. We want to simply say, me on my part, I will say that, look, this Marine Drive, Sunday Bye, there will be a big problem, because sooner or later, the people who have been moved, the people who don't have a place, and the industry-led people are only, this is just a tip of the, it is not about Katrina Feku. If Madam Katrina Feku has been responsible for some job, it is for her to account. I'm not the accountant. She will, but there are laws in this country. HLO, sooner or later. This is now that it started on Joy. See it. This is Joy's post. Joy News, Joy Online. The moment we finish this show, it will be all over the place. It means that there are people who are already concerned about the Marine Drive issues. And on Saturdays, we who you relegate us to the background, that is the creative space. When we start talking, we are not only related to the media, but we are always seen to be the people who are so vocal. So we will only want to tell them that we have not yet started the Marine Drive talk, but we are alerting them that the critical issue is that there is a Marine Drive project. Where has it got to? There are monies that we are hearing that some have been moved. We don't know the amount, whether Afri Mount or Gotri Mount or Yamri Mount, or we don't know anything. Number 3, there are people who are responsible. So if somebody is being sent to Parliament and he says that there is no money there, then it means that the state should find where the money
has gone to. Let me bring Uncle Ken into the conversation. And it may be of interest to know that an extra, an amount of 900 cedis out of the 387 plus, nearly 400,000 misapplied Marine Drive project fund is what has been recovered.
George,
900.
George,
and then an extra amount of 2,000 has also been recovered out of some 32,134 cedis reported as payment of unearned salaries by Department of Community Development.
George.
Yes, Uncle Ken.
This matter, I'm even surprised we're still talking about it today, because it's been up for discussion before.
It has.
A couple of years ago, it was up for discussion. And I am totally surprised that we are still on this matter as we speak in 2023. The amounts being bandied about, 900 being recovered, 2,000 being recovered, 300 and some. And I'm asking myself, for a whole Marine Drive project, these are the mega sums being mentioned.
Yeah.
That baffles me.
It is. I was going to go there.
I'm totally flabbergasted.
Because 300K cannot even build a two-bedroom.
Cannot do anything there.
2 bedrooms.
And these are the amounts that we are talking about
for a whole Marine Drive today. To be hearing something like this, it's a disgrace.
But it doesn't mean
hold on.
No.
Exactly.
Yeah, well,
yes, that's what we have not been told, Kwame. That's what we have not been told. We don't know whether there was a sum of 500 million and 300 was taken out of it without being, look, by virtue of the Constitution, the Auditor General is bound to issue a disallowance or surcharge where there has been any item of expenditure on behalf of the government that is contrary to law, so that the amount unlawfully expended is recovered from the person who was responsible for or authorized the expenditure disallowed. In this matter that we are talking about, we know
we have a name.
Unfortunately, what the problem is in this country is the Auditor General cannot prosecute.
Yeah.
He can only present his findings to Parliament and
leave the rest
other
to
state agencies that
need to
do
take
prosecution are the ones to pick up and prosecute. And that's why we are in the mess in which we have.
What's the work of the police? I just want to. I'm not saying.
Yeah, but the police cannot just get up.
Hold on.
The police cannot just get up and go.
They
Somebody
cannot
has to
just
make
get
a
out.
case.
Yes.
You people are trying to heckle me.
No, we are not. Nobody. You asked, and we are saying, well, the police is there to protect all of us. All of us. But the police cannot just. If, for instance, look, they are there to protect all of us.
All of us. With all due respect, okay.
To maintain law and order and protect the citizenry. Law and order, yeah.
So there is law in this country.
When it comes to state matters, it is the Attorney General.
Yeah.
Hello, George, that can prosecute.
Yeah.
Uncle Ken.
So,
Uncle Ken, when you drive, and you run through a red light, I want to find out.
You violated the law. The police, MTT, you look at you.
So you violated.
You violated the law. Yes.
Who will catch you?
MTT.
Yes. Where are they police people?
Yes.
Do they have the power to do something?
Yes.
So they will do it.
Yes.
Please tell them that I'll be driving from Aladi. I will cross the red light, so that if they have the powers that are explained and properly put out in our Constitution, and they can arrest, and they can ensure that we abide by the law, are they also not responsible in ensuring that there is law in this country with respect to financial regulations? Is that not it? Or is it that look, in this country, let me tell you.
Oh, but you won't let me finish my.
Yes, Uncle Ken, please finish because we're out of time.
Okay, continue.
We're wrapping up. Uncle Ken, go ahead. Those will be your final
George,
thoughts. We're wrapping up. Yeah.
As we wrap up.
Yes.
Matters of the Auditor General, when they come up, actually gets me confused at times. It is something that we do not really understand in total, the mechanisms that they use in coming up with certain findings. Because there have been instances where the Auditor General has come out with findings against certain entities, and later on the entities have come to, rebuff whatever the Auditor General has done. So I always get, I'm cautious when we raise matters surrounding the Auditor General. And then I asked myself, why does the Auditor General have to take 3 years of work to be able to come up and then give us a report about those 3 years?
Have we asked them to bring us a report?
No, we have. Because it's statutory. It's a statutory duty. He has to report to the Public Accounts Committee in Parliament.
Yes. Who are the Public Accounts Committee?
They are parliamentarians, of course.
Parliamentarians?
Yes. Are elected representatives. So
I'm surprised at you, Uncle Ken.
Why?
That you are not seeing beyond the veil.
My problem, Captain, is the workings of the institution it gets me confused. I think the Auditor General should be given powers of prosecution, so that immediately he comes out with his report and people don't do things, then he can go ahead and prosecute. Because if he leaves it to other states, that's when nothing happens.
Look, you are talking about they being given the power to prosecute.
Yeah, that he doesn't have.
Is this discussion something new? In fact, I don't know whether we have come from Jupiter and then we just arrived this afternoon and we are discussing these matters of the Auditor General. Where from? Look, I checked the Auditor General report in 1957, 1958, 1959, all the way up to 2022. You understand the point? Yeah. We've been doing ourselves some disservice.
Of course.
By trying
That's what he's saying.
Yes,
that's what I'm saying.
I'm saying that, look, please, you can put on your online. They should close the Auditor General's office and send the Auditor General and all his workers home, because they are of no use to this country. Because if the use is that you will tell us, who chop our money, and every year you will do that exercise,
yes,
so that you be paid your monthly salary. We don't need people who do that.
Exactly.
We need people who can do that investigation, tell us, and they have the power
to prosecute.
Exactly. If we need people who will be in Parliament and their main duty is that they will wait for. Look, you have given some people's father's work.
Thank you very much, Captain Abraham. Kwame Dazi, we're going. We're out of time.
I think the bigger picture is we knowing how the Marine Drive project is being funded.
Yes.
How are we funding the project?
Oh,
yeah. I think it's very important. Apart from taking grants from World Bank, how is it being funded? Because we are to complete this project in 2027. But judging from how it is progressing slowly, if you don't take care, it will take us to 2050. It's very serious. You see, this whole project is something that is going to help the tourism industry. Yep. Give about 150,000 people employment, getting all the hotels and all the restaurants, everything built there. And I think that we are playing with it because maybe we think it's just a normal or a usual thing that we are doing. But I think that we should know where we're taking money from for that project. This whole Afrima Kundum money, we're talking about just a peanut. It's just something small, okay? And we don't know how much money they had before. And that is very, very paramount. I don't know why John is not willing to talk to us, the Chief Director of Tourism Authority. I don't know why he's not talking to us. I don't know why we're not able to get Catherine to respond again, because last year She told us she had refunded the money, and even mentioned John in that interview. So if AG still comes back to tell us just 900 cities has been recovered,
plus on 2,000.
Then you see we've not gone anywhere. I think it's a very big problem that we need to solve. Anytime soon.
Kojo, we're out. We're gone.
Yes, we're out. I think that what I would say is that the future is bleak when it comes to creative arts tourism in this country. It's bleak. I mean, it's seriously bleak.
Yeah,
it is not. From 2016 up until now, the kind of promises that we've been told, the kind of things that they want to do for us, we've not seen anything. We use $4.5 million as a budget for Afrima. We are here talking about 3A, 7K used for Afrima, which is which. We are here being told that 1.2 million has been given by World Bank. Funded by World Bank. So
Gentlemen,
World Bank is
we're
funding
gone
it. And we are here talking about what? The future is bleak.
Thank you very much. Those are the thoughts. Captain, you've had your last words already, Captain. Okay, go ahead. Just 1 second.
1 second.
Yes, that's all I have. My time is up.
Just to say that, let's get our colleague who happens to be the deputy minister to at least apprise the industry of where this Marine Drive issue has got into. That's all.
Peace. That's it. Thank you very much. So, is your SIM card registered? Please dial star 400 # now to check the status. If you've fully registered your SIM card, then you should see the following name that appears on your valid national ID. Unique code with a set of alphanumeric digits unique